The Prince of Persia series has always been about agility, acrobatics, and daring escapes. But the Rogue Prince of Persia flips the script by blending those classic elements with roguelite design. Developed by Evil Empire, the same team that made Dead Cells, it brings a fresh spin to the franchise. Every run is a fight to save the city, every death resets the cycle, and every success makes you stronger. With its full release finally here, it's time to find out whether this roguelite is worth diving into. Instead of a straightforward, linear tale, the story here unfolds across repeated runs. The prince is trying to stop the Huns from taking over, and thanks to a magical bola, he revives every time he falls. This creates a natural time loop where failure is woven into the narrative. The mind map is a system that logs your interactions with NPCs and events, gradually piecing together the lore. It's not heavy on cutscenes, but the fragments you collect give context to the city's downfall and keeps you invested in why you're making these endless attempts. The setting itself is vibrant and grounded in Persian myth and architecture, which makes each area feel alive and worth exploring. The first thing you'll notice is the style. The Rogue Prince of Persia looks like a moving comic book, thick outlines and bold colors that give it a distinctive personality. Each biome pops with its own identity. Animations are silky smooth, parkour flows from one move to the next, and even combat feels theatrical. Kicking enemies into traps or vaulting over their heads isn't just effective, it looks great every time. It's a game that thrives on visual flair without sacrificing clarity, making every run as fun as it is to look at. Gameplay is where the Rogue Prince of Persia shines the brightest. The parkour system isn't just a flashy gimmick, it's the backbone of everything you do. The prince can wall run across surfaces, vault over enemies, rebound between walls, swing on poles, and chain moves together seamlessly. It's very satisfying to keep the speed going while successfully chaining parkour moves together. The traversal and combat feed into each other. You can dodge an enemy's strike by vaulting over them, land behind them for a clean hit, or simply kick them straight into a trap. The environment is always part of the fight. You start each run with basic weapons, but as you progress, you'll find new swords, spears, axes, bows, and even scythes that all play differently. Weapons can be swapped when found throughout the run. The prince's signature kick is more than a crowd control tool. It interrupts heavy attacks, creates breathing room, and opens up tactical opportunities. Layered on top of this are medallions and perks, which act like modifiers and buffs. Medallions slot into your loadout, letting you customize how weapons and abilities behave. Perks, meanwhile, are passive upgrades, things like elemental damage, lifesteal, or improved mobility, that can change how you approach each encounter. Runs quickly become about experimenting with builds and finding synergies between weapons, medallions, and perks. So the loop is pretty much this. You begin at the Oasis Hub, where you unlock weapons and upgrades between runs. From there, you dive into procedurally generated biomes, each filled with traps, enemies, and hidden paths. As you fight and explore, you earn resources to invest in permanent unlocks. Death resets your run, but progression carries forward, giving you new tools for the next attempt. If you've played Dead Cells, I'm sure this sounds very familiar to you. Once you complete a full run, the Awakening system unlocks. This lets you add modifiers that make enemies stronger, faster, or more numerous, but reward you with extra resources in return. It's a clever way to keep the game challenging while giving players a reason to keep pushing their skills. Overall, the gameplay loop hits that sweet spot. Accessible enough to pick up quickly, but layered with systems that reward experimentation and mastery. It's slower paced and more tactical than Dead Cells, but the parkour movement gives it an identity all of its own. The soundtrack deserves special mention. It blends traditional Middle Eastern instruments with modern electronic beats, giving the game a pulse that matches its energy. Whether you're sprinting across rooftops or trading blows with armored Huns, the music keeps the pace urgent. Sound effects add weight to the action. Blades clash with a metallic snap, kicks land with a satisfying thud, and vaulting around the map feels alive thanks to subtle audio cues. It's a sound design that ties the whole experience together, making the flow of gameplay feel even smoother. This game nails that one more run itch. Even when I failed early, I wanted to dive right back in and see how far I could push the next time. The parkour is genuinely fun. It's not just flashy, it gives each encounter multiple solutions, and pulling off a perfect chain of moves feels amazing. Combat isn't the deepest, but it complements the traversal system perfectly. That balance between skill and roguelite randomness makes it highly addictive. Replay value is one of the game's biggest strengths. With 11 different biomes, 20 plus weapons, dozens of perks, and hundreds of challenges, no two runs feels identical. The procedural design means layouts change, but the Awakening system really ensures long-term replayability by letting you scale difficulty and rewards. Add in the lore fragments on the mind map, and you're encouraged to keep exploring, not just for loot, but also to uncover more of the story. I'm just speculating here, but I wouldn't be surprised if future DLC was on its way. Dead Cells got a lot of post-launch support, and I can only assume the same thing will happen here. With that being said though, this game currently has the kind of depth that can keep you hooked for weeks if the loop grabs you. At $29.99 US and $39.99 Canadian, I'd say go for it, especially if you like Dead Cells. The Rogue Prince of Persia proves that Ubisoft and Evil Empire weren't just trying to copy Dead Cells, they've built something with its own identity. The parkour-focused movement, tactical combat, and build customization give it real depth, even if the pacing can feel slower than its inspiration. It's stylish, it's addictive, and it has that one more run pull that defines a great roguelite. While it's not without flaws, combat could use more weight, and the difficulty curve may frustrate some people, the foundation here is strong, and the replayability is already impressive. If you're a fan of action platformers or roguelites, this is absolutely worth diving into. And that's my review of the Rogue Prince of Persia. Are you excited to see the series branching into roguelites, or do you prefer the more traditional Prince of Persia style? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more gaming content, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.